So, this is a bit of a test. It might be that this doesn't work at all. Old camera, new SD card. The old SD card got corrupted. So what was happening was there was large, very large video files on the old SD card, and they were completely inaccessible. Or you could pull them off the SD card, I think, but you couldn't access them. What is that annoying ringing? Very annoying ringing. Yeah, I'd like to hope that this camera can be given a second new lease of life. Before it was the cable that was fucking it up, that broke, and I think the battery charger, so I bought a new cable, well I bought a new battery charger, that was the main thing, and then I had a new cable, so I started using that. And then this corruption shit happened, and it was like, supposedly all this room on the memory card that was meant to be there, like 64 gig or whatever, had become like a phantom 1 to 5 gig or something really small. And you started putting a video on it, and it suddenly would just run out of space, even though it looked like there was nothing on the SD card. And it's because of these hidden corrupted video files. But they were video files that never found a way to get transferred to the PC. And I think it's because, for some reason, there's a weird error that happens when you're filming on these cameras, which means that if I was to press record on this and just let it run until the battery ran out, and it was still recording when the battery ran out, and I didn't press the button to stop recording before the battery ran out, that file would die and become corrupted and exist, but be hidden and completely inaccessible, which is really annoying to find out that can happen. So hopefully I can use this now. Maybe I can set this camera to 4K mode, because it's an old camera, but I've never used the 4K mode on the camera, so that'd be cool. So I'm just doing some little vlogs. Hopefully this new memory card solves the problem. Vlog continues. So that was a little clip from work where I was talking about why my Sony AX33 that I'm using to film this fucked up. That's my smaller video camera. On my more walks I've been using the new Sony RX10. It's been doing pretty well, love the zoom on it. But I've given this a new lease of life, obviously. That was a weird little break at work where there was kind of some static on the backing. I wonder if it was like raining heavily outside when I did that. Yeah, just doing a little vlog with this cam to mess around with it and update on a few things that I haven't said on my channel, I guess. Got a bunch of little topics to go into. Got a new tarp. The tarp is way too large. I'm kind of regretting getting one so large. I got a 4.5 meter by a 5.5 meter. Might drop some footage in here if I have some. Yes, so that could be used for some camping purposes in the summer, although it's very large. So, and also with just one person putting it up, you can't, you need to peg it down to the ground before you do any shapes with it. So I can't make like a table shape with the 4 poles, you know, because the poles are falling over as you put it up, so you need it pegged into the ground on one side, unfortunately. But the material was very waterproof. I'm stunned at how fast whatever this material was dried, anyway. I got a shout out by Trev from Summit or Nothing for my more hiking vids side of my channel.
Destro 7000. Hey dudes, I make videos for YouTube, a portion of which are hiking on Dartmoor. I mainly walk with my dad, who is recovering from leg ops. My current goal is to slowly visit every tour on the western side of Dartmoor and make a video showing a basic route. I do a few other types of videos besides this.
I will advise any new watchers to my channel that I don't just do hiking vids. I have a bit of a background in mild political commentary, shall we say, being involved in pushback against certain kinds of horrific politics that are now surrounding us and winning, as we've seen. So I do that. I have done gaming videos. There's a lot of gaming videos on my channel. I tend to do audiobooks right now, which is kind of the nearest thing to what feels like work for my channel, because you kind of have to put the effort into all the editing and trying to project my voice and everything. So I'm enjoying doing the audiobooks right now. I'm currently doing one for me, but I've done several in the past. Kind of classic, well-known literature. My 1984, my War of the Worlds, The Time Machine. So you'll find all sorts of random stuff on my channel, to be honest. It's not just hiking. But I am trying to conquer all the tours on the Western Line when weather permits me, or when things are okay as a stable base in the house here. We do know, or at least my dad knows, Lady Kitson, who is the owner of the private land where Chubb Tor near Yelverton is. So I think he's wondering if she'll come in to buy stuff, because she comes in quite rarely to buy stuff at our shops, and then he's gonna, ask her if there's any chance. Apparently she's invited people round before to see the tour, so, and I think she and her husband are on good terms with my dad, because they were both in the military and sort of in the same places. Picked up a new leather jacket the other day. It's a kind of greenish one. It's quite nice. It wasn't as bright or vibrant or shiny as I expected. Maybe I'll show it to you for a sec. But this is the site I got this leather jacket from. They do like a leather jacket in the kind of Max Payne style-y, the blazer jacket, in all sorts of different colours, and it's really distracting. And they cost a bit, but I'm really kind of addicted to them. I might actually get 2 more. Anyway, here's the green one. Yeah, it's got a bit of a greenish tint to it. This is the blazer style jacket that I tend to go for. So it's only 2 buttons on here. Normally I have like 3 buttons going down here, but that's alright, I guess. Cool, eh? The insulation on it's a bit thick, but mostly I like it. Also, on a result of that call out for Summit or Nothing for my hiking vids, followed a few channels. I think the obvious one I remember following is More 2C. So they're from the area around here. It's two lads who are buddies, and they get on quite well. They've got good on-screen chemistry. And at first I thought it was just like 2 kind of newbies getting into doing vlogging and hiking, but the more you watch you realise they've got some expertise. I think the main guy, I think it's Adam, has actually seems to know what he's doing with editing and stuff, and you think you're watching a kind of straightforward newbie vlog thing, and then suddenly there's music and time lapses and maps and like little banner things that come up to tell you where you are, and they're pretty good at navigation as well. They sort of know. I mean, they skip a couple things here and there, but I mean, on the more, sometimes tours have different names and different placements. The smaller tours are kind of, not everyone has a hold on the exact coordinates of a tour, so yeah. But I'm enjoying their vids so far. They've only got like 6 or 7 videos, I think, which is a shame, and they've got like 24 subscribers or something low like that, so I recommend them. Go subscribe to them and watch their walks around the moor. It's kind of like what I do, I guess, but they've got a different plan in mind for what they're doing. As I say, I've been doing the audiobooks. I probably mentioned on one of my streams. Actually, I should say something about those streams in a sec. Yeah, so the audiobooks, I'm doing Sheltered at the moment, which is one of mine. It's very... it was done in 2009. Yeah, I was writing something alongside someone I knew very well, and we were both doing the NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month, and that's where Sheltered comes from. It is a bit of a lame kind of teen drama, I know, but the characters do move on from that, and I'm almost finishing doing the readings of Sheltered, and you'll see where Katie Kingston goes. You think it's kind of about her overcoming this big flaw she has, but in the next book, which I've only done handwritten, so I think I'm going to have to type it out before I do my read-throughs of it, which is going to be interesting. So I'll be able to edit it on the screen, because obviously it's a nightmare trying to edit a handwritten copy of a novel. There are less chapters, but each chapter is very long, so the format's slightly different. I might want to try and break that up, actually. There's like 5 massive chapters rather than loads of small ones. Yes, I think I might actually break that up into smaller chapters somehow. And like the good guy from the first book goes on into the second book, which is like dystopian, and becomes a bad guy, and then goes on to the third book, which is full sci-fi, and becomes a good guy again. So keep an eye out for that. The second book I thought was going to be really cringe, because it is culture war stuff. Like anti-SJW kind of, it's based on my, it's a kind of political dystopia. Just taking hints of what's going on in the real world and putting it into the fiction. I do a tiny bit of that with my other book, Acoustic Blackout, as well, in the later books. But yeah, I will try and do the next book. So this was called Sheltered, the sequel to that's called Suppressed, the sequel to that, which I'm writing every time I get a chance, is called Sludgescape. That's the sci-fi one. It's quite fun. I'm not sure if what I'm doing with it is right. They are first drafts, not like top copy, not like multiple draft of the book quality. So they are a bit goofy. You could help me with making a future draft of these books. Leave your criticism of the story underneath the videos. Tell me, like, watch it through, and then after you've seen it through, like, question where these characters are going and what's going on, and the decisions and why they're doing what they're doing and all that. And if there's something that seems a bit goofy or not very smooth, just, chuck a criticism in. That'll help me if I rewrite them in a second draft or something. But yeah, it's a bit iffy what I'm doing with them, because I'm not getting any money for this, and they are kind of my works of art sort of thing. I mean, I do visual art as well on my DeviantArt, but these are like these are my fictions. It would be nice to release some and get paid for it. I think I'm more likely to do that with Acoustic Blackout, which there is part of a chapter of on my YouTube channel. If you search Acoustic Blackout in the little magnifying glass search box above my videos, you'll probably find the one video I've done for Acoustic Blackout, which is way more sci-fi. It's kind of like full Star Wars-y, Farscape-y sci-fi. So yeah. Anyway, live streams. I was going to say something about live streams. The last live stream I tried to do, you haven't seen on YouTube, because guess what? Yeah, Twitch is really fucking unreliable. Even my backups couldn't save. Like, it didn't even back up. The last time I tried to do a live stream, I was recording. It was telling me I was recording. I did a massive stream. I talked for a while on it. I played a bunch of games. Played a bit of that Artificial Life Species game. The stream did not, like, it was saying it was recording. It did not record. It did not save. It did not. I wasn't even sure if it was broadcasting live. Twitch certainly didn't produce a VOD. My backup system on my Streamlabs OBS didn't record to a file, so I was so gutted and pissed off after that my stream, there was no, like, nothing that I was using to record my stream in multiple ways was recording my stream. It's almost like if I stream again, I'm aware that this could happen, so I'd put my camera on facing both my face and my monitor somehow. Like what you're seeing here, except you see the whole monitor. Obviously you can't properly see the gameplay or anything there, but just so I have a backup of something I put my time into, you know. That pissed me off. So streams might resume, but I might film them with a camera on the side because I have absolutely no faith in Twitch and Streamlabs OBS to save my stream. Pisses me off no end. Moving on with topics into something more political now. Don't watch if you're not into that. I'm not gonna lie. I am struggling right now this year. This year has been a terrible year. I'm putting on a bit of a performance or a bit of a happy face to the camera, but you know, with all the lockdown shit that's going on, and it is still going on, and all the bad things that come with the lockdown crisis, we've basically lost all of our freedoms, or most of our freedoms right now. Can hardly do anything. We're literally living in the cracks, living in the pockets of an authoritarian society now. Britain is like Soviet Britain right now. Things are very wrong with the country, and many countries around us, notably places like Israel, Australia, New Zealand, just everywhere except places that resist it. Maybe Texas, Florida, possibly Brazil, although not really, possibly Hungary, not really Poland. With the exception of those places, the world's gone into the dark age hard, and we're living the dystopia, of course. It's insane. And yeah, I'm not going to dig too deeply into it because the depression will come out, I'm sure. And so it's bad news forever, basically. I don't watch the news really. I mean, it used to be that obviously I stopped watching TV. I think at one point Family Guy was literally the only reason keeping me watching TV for a while, because I'd noticed that every part of TV had gone far left, and I could see the propaganda hiding in every kind of program that you get on the TV. And I was just like, fucking hell, why am I watching TV? The only thing I was watching was Family Guy. That hadn't gone SJW yet. In fact, I don't think I reached the episodes of Family Guy that had gone full SJW. I just became aware of them after I stopped watching because people on the internet said, oh, it's happening now. Seth's finally gone mad. Yeah, but recently it's been harder to watch news from alternative news sources on like social media or on YouTube, or, you know, power to the people. The people-based news sources are, every time I catch some kind of news about, you know, how is the government trying to fuck us over now, I'm just like, I honestly, it's like a broken record. The far left, the government, the globalists, we know they're doing horrific things to us. It's time to just not comply with anything they ask us to do. And, yeah, fuck all the statists and the self-slaves who believe in this nonsense, and go through with it. In fact, on my Twitter, which is not the same username as here, I am basically fed posting 97% of the time. And yeah, I wrote an old article thing ages ago, like, must be like 2010 or something, about how I thought the internet was becoming a sea of voices, like an ocean of voices, and no one can really, because of it's like overpopulation, but on the internet. Like, you can't actually listen, like, everyone's opinion. It's hard to value anyone's opinion because we're all speaking at the same time, millions of us on social media, and it's like droplets of water in a stormy sea, a stormy ocean. Like, how do you pay attention to one droplet of grey water spinning around chaotically, doing the same things as all the ones around it, you know? No matter how aggressive or chaotic or trying to stand out, these voices are, these little droplets. It all looks like a stormy sea. It's like mesmerizing in its chaos, but we're all like swarms of people now, kind of acting more and more like a hive of collectivistic termites, I guess, all kind of vying for attention, all doing the same thing, and nobody's getting any of it. And, you know, it's just like, let's localize the world now. Let's just go in for small pockets of just tiny groups of people again, because we need to concentrate on less, each of us, to even get anywhere. Anyway, digging into politics on different fronts. Stopped watching Academic Agent a month or two ago, unsubscribed to him when I noticed his... I probably went into this on a couple of streams actually. His positive vision for the right is actually far left authoritarianism. His Trump and his views on what love is meant to be about, and sex is meant to be about, and all this. And the thing is, like, Sargon started falling for his views as well, I noticed. And for the first time in many years, I mean, I've always put up with Sargon, but I unfollowed him. And it was harder even to watch the Lotus Eaters, because I was only really watching it for Callum and Josh and, you know, a couple of guys on his team who I think are more based than he is. But obviously, because they're working for Sargon, they're gonna follow him, and he's following AA, and AA's following the neo-reactionaries. It took it was 1 month. AA was just pretty reasonable, and I loved what he was doing and all his content. And then over the course of 2 months, I don't know what it was in the summer, some point, it was like May or July or something like that. He went from pretty reasonable, like, fuck it, the left is destroying everything, this is ashes of civilization, to like demonizing love, demonizing sex, saying that he wanted everyone to live in this authoritarian village thing, full control, was it top-down planning, social engineering. What we're doing with elites is that the elites now are wrong, so what we're going to do is we're going to take those elites out of power and put our own elites there who do the same thing, but just, it's us. Like, it's about as far from libertarianism as you can get. And, you know, after that I started noticing just how different libertarians are from conservatives. I've always been on the side of, like, moderate conservatives. I call them modcons. But I've never been on the side of traditionalist conservatives, tradcons, the conservatives who are leaning into the right. People, I don't know, people have called them far right. It's not that they're far right, necessarily. It's that they're right on the edge. They're right on the precipice of just slipping into identitarian right. Richard Spencer, Mark Collett, Daughter of Albion, who, you know, I thought when she was talking to V that she was like a libertarian or something. Then I was like, oh, holy fuck, she's way out there. The more you listen to her views. Which is such a shame as well, because she's like the cutest voice in the business. She's like... Anyway. And then, yeah, tradcons can just slip that way. That's the identitarian right. Then there's the authoritarian right, which are, when you look into it, it's what these NRX chaps are doing, that AA has slipped into following in a really short space of time. I'm more interested in what, from that group, it's not even a group, it's, I guess, it's a gathering of people around AA, and then he's like kicking people out and then bringing people in who are more extreme and following them, and then he, him and John D, like, they unfollow their own fan base, they attack people who talk to them on good terms and like their content. They're currently having a big war with Harrion, who's pretty cool, and PSA Sitch and Adam Friended Forever, who are pretty cool. They're more... Well, Harrion I would say is a moderate conservative, so he's alright. PSA Sitch and Friended are classical liberals to social liberals, I think. Not entirely sure if they're libertarian. And then I'm a libertarian, and I've like, I guess I've created my own strain of libertarianism now that takes on an ANCAP form called elevatism, which, you know, I've just named it that because I haven't seen anything else around with that. I also learnt that a lot of ANCAPs and libertarians have been using this term ANCAPistan, and I was like, what the fuck is that? I just kind of ignored it all these years. I knew kind of vaguely in the background that people were using it, but I was like, don't really know what that is. I'll just ignore it. And I think I've come recently to find out that this ANCAPistan thing is basically a thing I've been thinking of. Just, I've named it a different thing. I've named it Wild West 2.0, which is the pure free society. In which case, I am pro ANCAPistan, I guess. If it's Wild West 2.0, and it's a place where there are no rules, no laws, no government whatsoever, and things are just organic and free, and it's Wild West, and, you know, there are pirates and individuals defending their rights with guns, and organically mini groups arise and fall, like, in all sorts of different places. Doesn't have to be a desert. We don't have to be all wearing spurs and cowboy hats and stuff. The concept of Wild West 2.0 is more like the sci-fi version. It is the perfect society to me at the moment. It is the society where everyone defends themselves with their guns and their loved ones, and everyone puts extreme high value on property, and things are organically sorted out by freedom. Everyone can talk, no words are banned, no words are off the table. There are no governments to impose crazy draconian laws on everyone. The only thing about that is, like, I posted a clip in my last Funny Clips highlight video, like Styx, Hex and Hammer says, and he's a libertarian too. If you have an ANCAPistan, so if you have a Wild West 2.0, and I knew this, like, every time I was advocating for it, and he says it's utopian, so communism's a utopian ideal, and ANCAPistan would be a utopian ideal on the opposite end of utopian ideals, in that, hey, people think you can't make it work, because the thing I knew about it was that governments can automatically, organically arise from it. They'd just be small governments. You make everything free, and there's no government across your country that you've chosen, or your globe, or whatever. There'll probably be a couple of countries. Then what's going to happen is that out of the non-government landscape, governments will rise up in small bands of people who have power, guns, and aggressiveness. And this would probably be based on, like, popularity, I think, to begin with. Popularity, and then eventually, like, military power. I kind of think, I know that's how that happens, but I still kind of think that's all right to be getting on with, you know, because you are starting again from scratch. So maybe you're starting a new government, you know, from that base layer of ANCAPistan Wild West 2.0, and it might do things differently from what we have now. So at least you're starting again. But I do think it's positive to begin from a base of ANCAPistan and everyone having their own, like, everyone, the 2A laws spans this world that you've created. Every person, like, has their own arms to defend themselves, and castle doctrine and all that. So, yeah, it's utopian. Yes, governments will rise in small ways, organically, but it is better than what we have now. The thing that I coined elevatist libertarianism is that this form of libertarian is a pact between, I won't say too much, but so the elevatism libertarianism has two parts. It has an ANCAP group who do the job, and a libertarian group who are put into place, and their job is to purposefully strip away all laws under watchful eye of the public and limit themselves, and eventually get to a stage where they remove themselves and there's no government. Yeah, the problem is always going to be with that ANCAP group. Like, how would you... You'd have to trust them before they go in there, because they're self-limiting too. They've also got to disband. So the problem is always the people who want to hold on to power, or the people who've got power and just decide, no, actually I've changed my mind, we're not going to self-limit, we're not going to disband, we're going to stay on top and become the new elites. So that's my thing about that, is, yeah, it's utopian, but it's better than what we have right now. I mean, the world is authoritarian right now. That's the main politics section of this video ticked off, I think. Move on to just 3 more topics. One topic, my jadedness with watching YouTube videos. A lot of people on YouTube are like massively rich bastards, and I'm not going all socialisty and denouncing people for making money and being successful or anything. It's just, it's like I guess I'm lower middle class. It's hard to relate to watching videos of people who are richer than you and doing pretty well for themselves and somehow making money off their jobs, and they're showing off their rich lifestyle to you, and then when they give out a complaint or something, it's not... Their concerns about what's going wrong in the world aren't my concerns. I'll just say that. It's hard to watch more and more people on YouTube and on BitChute when they're just showing off their wealth and stuff, and it kind of gets that way with people like Tim Pool as well, and like the Quartering, and to a lesser extent I guess some other people. So I am kind of looking to watch videos from people who are more down to earth and have real concerns, I think. I have been catching up, rewatching Red Dwarf, the TV sci-fi British series. It seems very British to me. Red Dwarf is like a proper British, English sci-fi show. Something we've got very right, I think. And I've been watching from the start. I've got up to Series 8. Series 8 is actually pretty good. Series 6 and 7 are kind of where it fell apart. Like, I think Kachansky showed up, and then for some reason the writing got bad and the jokes got bad for a while. Cat got a chance to shine in those series, but it got a little bit shit when, when they took Starbug off to leave Red Dwarf, and you don't actually see Red Dwarf for a bit, and then Holly's magically gone. Yeah, but series 1 to 3, maybe 1 to 4 or 1 to 5 are really good. Series 3 especially, because you've got Marooned, which is a fucking hilarious episode. And it's basically flatmates in space. That's the best way to phrase it. And then Series 8, which I'm watching now, is like really good. I think it's like they brought back... They haven't got the original Rimmer logically in the show, technically I guess. But they've gone back to the old style. And I think having the old Rimmer has allowed them to go back to a less jaded, more kind of crazy Rimmer that you see in Series 1 to 3. So Series 8, and then they had the budget in Series 8 to mess around with like cool sets and things. And they've got Kachansky and Holly's back, so it's really good. Not only that, Captain Hollister, amazing character, the kind of Captain, is it Adamson or Aronson or Ackerman? Ackerman, I think. That like the prison warden guy. He's an awesome character. And I'm hoping they'll bring back Peterson, who was played by the dude from the Fast Show. I can't remember if they do at the moment. There's only a couple episodes left though from where I am in season 8, so they probably won't. Oh, series 8. God, I'm becoming American. God damn it. As an aside note, have you noticed a lot of Americans, when they say "een," that's their way of saying "ing." So they're like, I've just been out shopping, and then I went swimming, but then it was really freezing. And Americans also go, I'll just go ahead and It's like, when you hear those things, you know you're dealing with an American. Sorry, this has been a Redcoat PSA, just your weekly harassment, Americans. Sorry about that. Yeah, Red Dwarf's amazing. There's a couple of the new series where all the cast are old, which I haven't seen of Red Dwarf, so hopefully I'll get around to watching those. The Back to Earth one, I've seen that. I wasn't impressed really too much, but it was nice to see the guys back again, but you can tell they were getting old. Then the series after that I think I liked that a bit more, and for some reason they improved Rimmer's makeup. And then there's one or two series after that which I haven't seen, and like a TV film as well. So looking forward to seeing if any of those are good. Last note, I've been watching a bunch of films. It's been fun watching the channel Critical Drinker, who does film reviews. Recently got into him. What films have I watched recently? So I watched 71, which was about the Troubles in Ireland. That wasn't as good as I thought. I watched A Bridge Too Far on recommendation, the Critical Drinker. That wasn't as good as I thought. I'm really not into World War II stuff that much. It's a war you can learn about by accident, and the world's politics right now have just regressed to World War II stuff anyway. Like Nazis and communists and authors and totalitarians just everywhere right now. I'm not really into the period of World War II. Obviously, I watch Batman 1 to 4 from Tim Burton to Joel Schumacher. Those are really fun Batman movies. I like those. Batman Forever especially, I enjoy. And I've recently enjoyed more Batman Returns, although I hate what they've done with the Penguin. The best Penguin has been in the TV show Gotham. Yeah, what else have I watched? I've been on a film spree watching some old films recently. Beneath Hill 60 is a fantastic World War I film. It's an Aussie World War I film, and it's better than 1917. So I watched 1917. It was alright. I think people are overblowing how good that film's meant to be. I watched the Cube series. I watched Cube, the original, which is good. Then Cube 2 and Cube 0. Cube 2 was bad. Cube 0 was alright. Forbidden Ground is a crappy World War I film. Don't watch that. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? I watched that in high school film studies. We actually had a second wave feminist film teacher, but she was alright. She made me think, like, she and Germaine Greer made me think second wave feminism, no problem really. What they're doing is wrong. It was like, if these people would ever get power, we'd be in dire straits. And it turns out they kind of did get in power, but it morphed into third wave feminism, and they became more extreme to the point where you're not really dealing with the same kinds of people when you talk about third wave feminism and second wave feminism. Also, I refuse to believe that there's a fourth wave feminism. I think people are just clutching at straws, making shit up when they mention that. It's like when people mention the Anthropocene. Like, no, we're in the Holocene, okay? Stop making new terms up. Highlander, I watched the Highlander series. That was very fun. I haven't watched the last one, which I think is called The Source. And I watched a tiny bit of the TV show. It was alright, but it was kind of boring. Conor McLeod's only in the first one anyway. Highlander 2 is amazing. I watched the Human Centipede the other night. Ugh, I was in the mood for something horrific and gross. God damn, that's such a bleak film at the end. Like, everyone gets... Just everyone in the film gets fucked. Some kind of literally, I guess. They all get... They all... Like, everyone basically dies. Katyn, I watched that. That was horrific, but everyone should watch it. It will explain to you what the commies did to the Polish. Mortal Kombat, I watched the other night. That wasn't that good. Spawn, I was having issues with the video player. It was not pre-caching the thing, so I was watching it in tiny chunks. I love the clown character though. He's pretty cool. The Patriot with Mel Gibson. Not really that good. The Wild One, Marlon Brando. That is a horrific film. That's basically about, oh my god. I'm not a feminist, but things like Rocky 1 and this film, The Wild One, with Marlon Brando, because it's a black and white old movie, they don't show anything explicit or anything. It's like when you see a film noir and like a candle goes out to signify that this couple here are having sex, because they want to show it like tastefully so everyone can see it and absorb it without being offended. Back in those days, the censorship was high and all that. A record squeaking means that someone's having sex. In film studies, I learned all this shit about what they were actually doing. And The Wild One, there's basically a mass gang rape in it of like one girl by a massive motorcycle gang, and then she gets Stockholm syndrome with another guy who's basically Marlon Brando's character, who basically does the same thing. Oh, if you can understand what's happening in that film, it is grueling. Watched Airplane. Airplane's really fun, mainly for the nostalgia. Brilliant nostalgia film to watch. Definitely shows the old-fashioned stuff, how things used to be when things were good. But also, the humour in that film is like spot on. It's like modern humour. Cape Fear, that was a weird film. I don't like Robert De Niro now, so it's cool that he's playing a bad guy in this film. But then again, Robert De Niro's in my favourite film, Heat, which is still an amazing film, but kind of good job he's playing the bad guy. I can root for the Al Pacino side in that film. Cape Fear, insane religious guy on a boat, kind of a pedo, getting revenge on like some rich lawyer dude, manipulating and screwing his family as he goes. It's a good film, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a good film. There's lots of dodgy things going on in it. I don't think there are any good characters in Cape Fear, as far as I know. Elegy, not as good as I remember. It's a weird Ben Kingsley film. Lucky Number 11, another film Ben Kingsley in. Watched that the other day, again, for like the 5th time. It is a fantastic movie, one of my favourite movies. Lucky Number 11, check that out. Green Lantern, bit shitty, not as good as I remember. Hard Target, posted a clip on my channel. Fucking hilarious film, proper 80s action movie. Actually a John Woo film as well. Hollow Man, kind of, I thought it was great when I first watched it. It's like The Invisible Man, but modern. No real hint of the H.G. Wells version in there at all of The Invisible Man. It's not as good as you think. It's kind of a sexy film in some ways, but it's also like all the acting is really shallow, and these people are meant to be scientists, but they're just a bunch of idiots who act so cavalier they could never be scientists. I suppose in the modern world that would be quite realistic, right? We've got thousands of fake scientists in the world right now. Watched Inner Space. It was alright. It had a weird, dumb sense of humour. It's kind of a sci-fi film where, is it Doug Quaid? Dennis Quaid? Actor gets shrunk in a pod and goes inside someone's body, and he has to go around with the blood cells repairing stuff inside someone's body. Has some very unbelievable stuff about like face changing in there. Not like Face Off, like more unbelievable than Face Off. Mask of Zorro, Mexican Batman, kind of fun, drags a bit. Sword fights are good. Has a Mary Sue, not that serious. Has a bit of SJW stuff in there as well. Also set in California, which, fuck that. Quick and the Dead, amazing film. Nothing more to be said. Storm of the Century, really long, like, I can't remember how long it was. It was like 4 hours plus. It's like a TV film that goes on way too long. And I thought it was good the first time I saw it. Has Colm Feore as Linoge, which is like a demon. You rearrange the word Linoge to form Legion, and it's like the Pied Piper, like he leads people into the sea unless they give him their kids. All the people of this town do like a lottery thing where they decide whose kid they're gonna give to this demon so he can run off, and it just so happens to be the main character's kid, who's the only guy who's against it for some reason. And the entire film, the demon's just going, "Give me what I want and I'll go away." He just says it over and over, and people ask him, "Alright then, what do you want?" And he just goes, not telling you. He just doesn't tell them until the end of the movie. And you're there for like 4 hours or something. The Shadow, based on the comic book movie, has Alec Baldwin in as a shadow. Wasn't very good. Alec Baldwin is a good actor in some movies, even if he is a murderer and a fucking Trump derangement syndrome psychopath. U571, brilliant film, had a few clips on my channel. A lot of explosions in that film and crumpling submarines. Yeah, so I'm going to stop there. That's just all the recent films I've watched and a few one-line reviews, I guess. Anyway, it's been a while since I've done a vlog like this. Here's a vlog just to catch up on what's going on with me. Not sure when the next live stream will be. Obviously, I've got that problem. I love to do live streams and keep doing them as opposed to these vlogs, but this shit's going on with unreliability and I don't know what to do about it. Alright guys, I'm going to see you again in my moor and hiking videos as we continue up the Western Line, and I'll see you again if you're listening to my audiobook series that are going on. Catch you later folks. Thank you for watching.